Okay, right off with the shocker du jour. This is about scientists made terrifying discovery at Mt St Helens after it exploded 40 years ago. They drilled into it to see what was going on, and they said it led to one of the most terrifying discoveries in recent geological history, and they don't even know the half of it. What came out of there was fluoride gases, hydrogen fluoride, which boils off of something extremely toxic, and it's completely very deadly, very rare, and very toxic. And it doesn't fit any profile of a normal volcano. And I will explain to you exactly what it is, and why it doesn't fit the profile, and why how a normal volcano normally erupts due to basically spontaneous combustion. This is a different story. Alright, as promised, always a shocker du jour. They went to Mt St Helens. They drilled down inside of it to see if they could see any structures or what the nature of the things were. And they found features that defied the laws of nature as we currently understand them. Let's see what they're talking about. All right, it says, as they drilled deeper, they found structures that appeared to form a network almost like biological anatomy. All right, they're also talking thinking maybe this is some kind of a network because it spanned a vast area beneath the volcano connecting multiple voids and chambers, which is exactly what you would expect if it is what I think it is. All right, they're talking about the thing pulsating, but they're saying it pulsated in response to seismic activity. Well, the seismic activity was a response of the decaying material that's deep inside this biological mountain. It's just because that is biology. They don't realize it's similar to biology. It is biology. All right, they're saying it was like the crystals inside were alive because they're seeing it in response to seismic activity. So I don't think it was like a rhythmic pulsation. I don't think so. I think it was boom, and then a few minutes later something else happened, and maybe a couple seconds later something else happened, and so it wouldn't be a rhythmic frequency is my point. They're asking, could these structures be some unknown natural process? Yes, it's biology. Okay, my friends, another shocker du jour. They drilled into Mt St Helens to see what they could find out as a scientific experiment, and they were shocked. Scientists made terrifying discovery at Mt St Helens after 40 years. And they drilled in, and they said they found structures appeared to form a network almost like a biological cavities. And it was a whole bunch of different cavities and veins and arteries running to them. Exactly what you would expect, because this, I'm pretty sure, well, let's take a look at it on Google Earth and see if we can determine what it is, because I'm telling you, it's a body part. And I think I know exactly what it is. All right, we're going to take a look at that crater, and I believe Mt St Helens is some kind of a venom area, and this is also a venom area right here. You see this stuff? Look at this closely. Look at that. And look at the colors. Look at the blood over here. The red and the black was feeding something here. Whether that had something sticking off it, I don't know. But where we are, we're on top of Scorpzilla, and I'm going to tell you something right now. This is some nasty chemistry going on here. Now that is not Mt St Helens, but it's right near it. You see this? I'm looking at the top, and it almost looks like something was coming up out of it. Well, it's snow on top of here now, but All right, I'm trying to put the pieces together here, how Mt St Helens exploded. Now, this looks like it was almost feeding a hare or something, and another one over here, some kind of like stalks coming out of there. But they were probably pretty big because this is a huge thing. And this is at the top of one of these, looks like a volcano. Now, this is also up near Mt St Helens, which I'll show you in a second. But you see this stuff running off here? This is biology. You see that? That's some kind of red blood. And the black is the vein blood usually. And it looks like it's running off here. And the black will collect in these globby looking things, where the red is much more fluid. Now, let's take a look at Mt St Helens. All right, so Mt St Helens is right over here. Now, this is on the back of Scorpzilla's neck. All right, that's Mt St Helens, and this is on the back of Scorpzilla. And he goes all the way up, and there's this pincher or stinger or whatever people call them, all kinds of things. Now, I don't know which it is. It squirted out some stuff. I would call that a stinger, some venom. Anyway, Mt St Helens is what we're focusing in on today. Now, so it's coming down here, and there might be some glands right in this area that produce some of this toxin that he would probably spit out. Most dragons have toxin. So let's look and see what happened at Mt St Helens. It's a sidewall collapse. We saw this one over here, and there's a bunch of them. There's another one here. I think this whole line of them was setting it up for some kind of toxicity. And this one over here, for some reason, exploded. Now you see, something's feeding into it. Same thing here, this nasty runoff. Now let's look into Mt St Helens. All right. What happened is it collapsed down here. It was a sidewall collapse, and it showed it. They showed a real nice video of the collapse, and it just right out the side. So there was a whole batch of stuff coming up here feeding it. Now, it created this lake. And this is some toxic stuff, I believe. So they drilled down in here somewhere to see what they could find, and they found biology. Let's see if we can see any. I don't know how thick this ice is, but I can't believe it's this thick. Well, it could be. Well, I'm not sure where they drilled or how they did it, but I would assume they came somewhere up in this area, or maybe the side. I have no idea where they were, but they did say they found biology. When you see this kind of stuff like that, that's literally red blood. It's all just iron oxide. Well, iron oxide is from blood. Now, I can't tell anything more than that it was a blowout. It collapsed. Well, I can show you a volcano called Mount Spur that is a rectum. And it belongs to the same guy. All right, Scorpzilla here goes all the way up the coast, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And this is the outside of his body. All right, this drops straight off. It's right here. It's a minus 400 and minus 300 and, well, minus 175. Way down here, well, just right over here, it's minus 4,000. So it drops way off. So his body is here, and it runs back this way. Anchorage, right over in here, is where he poops. This is where he poops. It's Mount Spur. This is Anchorage right over here. See, that's Anchorage. Now this is all digestion, and actually it's not really the digestion. Digestion happens down in this area, but out here is where it poops. And you see, and there's a lot of some other kind of biology going on here. I got to take a look at this too. But anyway, this is Mount Spur right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is an avian rectum, and this is the rectum for Scorpzilla. All right, here it is right here. Now, that is the flow down from a Mount Spur, which if we follow it up, and all we care about really is this brown side. Because I'm going to tell you right now, every one of these is poop. Every one of those was poop. He pooped, he pooped, he pooped, he pooped, he pooped, and he's pooping all coming down here. And it's piling up here as it comes down. And where's it coming down from? Let's follow it back. It's this one right here. Let's follow it up where it came from. It came right out of this area here. And follow it right up to here, where it came from. And this is it right here. This is Mount Spur. Right there. And that, my friends, is a rectum. Let me turn it around a little bit. We're probably not going to see too much that makes sense of a rectum, but it's a rectum. And I'll show you why I can say that with absolute certainty. It comes down and feeds into here. Now there's a whole batch of other feeders in here too, but they stay on this side. See, they're blackish, and they're coming down in 2 or 3 different layers, and then the brown. The brown comes out of Spur. Spur, they always used to say Spur was one of the biggest rectums on the earth. I don't think they used the word rectum. Anyway, that came out of here, and the black ones came out from up over here. There's multiple things. Look at this one. It's sort of like the tire tracks. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? This is all biology. This is all biological. You know, this could even be like have like muscles, that type of thing. Because this does feed all of this. This is the urine side. All right, you see down in here? Wow, look at that. But anyway, this is the urine side. And it's all feeding out of all of these biological areas up here. So now, it comes down to here. Remember I showed you up here, this is the urine side? We'll follow it down. It comes down to here. and it feeds around, and it comes down, and it comes right down to here, and it hits this spot right here. All right, take your time and look at this. This is ultra important you understand this. This is the urine side. Spur is the feces. This is the urine side. It's a cloaca. That's the pincher that pinches it off so that it can stop it from just leaking out. All right, now this is some kind of chemistry in a cloaca, and I'm not sure what, but I'm sure somebody that's an avian or a reptilian person would say this is collecting some kind of, or injecting or doing whatever, some kind of secretion. And it looks like it's dumping it into here rather than making it come out of here. I don't know. But you see how green this is? Wherever there's a lot of biology going on, you got some serious green action going. Look at the greenness. So here it comes down. You could pinch it off, yes or no. And this one runs down to here, which is the debris. I mean, it's just like urine piling up, goopy stuff, the same stuff that comes out of a bird. All that whitish, nasty stuff to hit your windshield, some black stuff in it and all that. Now, it comes down and the two of them meet together. That's exactly what a cloaca does. All right, the two of them come down here and they do meet together. And you see that abrupt transition? Not accidental, my friends. That's part of a system. And it runs right in here and it runs down. It's very strange looking. It's the only thing you can see that has any color to it to speak of. It's like clear urine. You see it? It's like the bladder. You see up above here, both of these abrupt transitions. There's just no color to it. Now, I know that's got something to do with Google, because the other ones over here, there's no real colors and so forth in here and there, but this, I don't know. And all the way down here, just going off to this side, there's no color to speak of at all. It challenges my mind. And what's going on here? And it comes down to here, and it's the same stuff. Now, then we go into this strange color pattern again. But it comes out here, comes down, and discharges into Cook Inlet. You see this? Now, there might be some chemistry down in here that absorbs stuff back in. And this right here, I believe, is one of the anal glands. Let's turn this around. And the other one is over here. You see this stuff? They have cloaca, anal glands. I believe this is one right here. And the other one is over here. It's basically the same stuff. And it squirts out its contents right here. Now over here something other very interesting is going on, and I don't know what. Look at these two things coming down here. All of this green looking stuff coming in here. Look at that. I mean, it's biology. There is just no other way to look at this. Nobody came out and built that. That's biology. All right, this is even blowing my mind. You see this here? Does that look like hills and valleys to you? This real green stripe here, which is biological. These are some kind of blood vessels, or I mean, it's something like that. You see that? I'm going to show you some other ones that are just stunning. Now this is the runoff of right near Mount Spur from the cloaca. It's coming down. That's some kind of bodily tube. It comes down here and spits out. No, what? Look at this. Look at this. Over here, same thing. I believe it's taken out or injecting juices in, one or the other. Is it spitting it into there or pulling them out? That's the question. But there is no question. That is, in my mind, if you can come up with some other explanation, which you cannot. The same thing here. What's going on with this? It's absorbing all kinds of stuff, bringing it down here, and discharging it into here. Alright, so now let's look at you want to see some serious biology? Wait till you see this. It's coming out, and this is where the cloaca dumps out its contents out here. Now watch this. Wait, I gotta find the spot. I was seeing before. I gotta show you. Hold on. This, my friends, is spectacular. This is right at the end of his butt. So let's come out and look once more. This is where it dumps out. That's where I showed you a bunch of biology. Now watch over here. You see this? And I just showed you all these little, I don't know what they're, blood vessels or whatever they are. They're feeding out here into the bay. I mean Cook Inlet. You see it? Now watch this. There's another whole feeder down here. Look at this thing. And it feeds right out into the Cook Inlet. Now let's come back on this. It looks like somebody put plumbing in here. I mean, it really honestly does. But this is where everything's draining into this. And look at how perfect that tube is. And look at all this stuff feeding that tube. And we're coming back up. And this is elevation flat. This is 0 meters, you know, nothing. So we're coming up, coming up. Look at this. And there's another one over here. It just looks like a damn snake. You're only 3 meters high here. It's only 10 feet up above sea level. Up here, you're only 4 meters. And look at how unbelievably intricate this is. The whole length. It's not just here or there. All of these little feeder things are coming in everywhere. Isn't that bizarre? And it runs all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. It just keeps going and going and going. And ends up way, 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 way up in here. And look at this stuff. And all this is thawing out now, causing all kinds of havoc very shortly. Well, look at all this. This whole area is the rectum and a draining area of Scorbzilla. Back down in here is the digestive area. A physics girl was up here in Fox, Alaska, which is somewhere down around in here, in the digestive system. She said it smelled like poop. And they do. They said it smells just exactly like dog poop. And she was in there. So up here, this is not, at first I was going to think Mt St Helens was going to be a rectum because they blow out like that because of digestion. The digestive stuff is inside, and it builds up and builds up just like, all of a sudden you fart. Only these things, boom. Because when you compress, something was edible, and it was like meat or whatever, and it can decay, it expands, and if it has nowhere to pop, all of a sudden it just starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then you get the spontaneous combustion. Only here it's spontaneous explosion, and everything goes. And that's what this did. What set it off? What kind of chemistry is down there? I don't know. But they talked about fluoride gases. Hydrogen fluoride, I think it was, and they said that was totally unusual, and that is a toxic chemical. So that's another little hint there that it might be due to toxicity that was running down here for him to squirt it out at somebody. I don't know. All right, this is the Voyager channel, and they're saying that when they drilled into it, they found compounds in there not typically associated with volcanic activity. Well, what were they? Okay, so what they found that alarmed them was a bunch of this hydrogen fluoride, very rare, very toxic. All right, this hydrogen fluoride is deadly to humans and highly corrosive to the environment, and there was a lot of it coming out of this not typical volcano. Okay, here is the smoking gun. I asked about reptile venom and snake venom and so forth. Is fluoride present in these venoms? And it says the venom of certain snakes, particularly pit vipers like copperheads, rattlesnakes, and moccasins, the deadly ones, can contain compounds like fluoroacetate or fluoride ions. Okay, they're toxic when injected into the prey. Now, I asked about hydrogen fluoride, and it says while hydrogen fluoride itself might not be present, the fluoride ions are toxic and can act as metabolic poisons. So yes, now they're talking about hydrogen fluoride as a gas. All that means is the fluoride part of the toxin is being boiled off and along with hydrogen, and it's coming out as a gas. So there's talking about fluoride in these snake venoms, yes. And that, as far as I'm concerned, Scorbzilla is some kind of, well, it's got a cloaca, so it's some kind of reptile. and it's got toxin, it's got a stinger. Maybe that's produced way up his head, goes back to his stinger. Who knows?